the same round here. The neighbor's still shooting all of next year's deer. Boys still lose less they're playing at home. But I got better since you got gone. I'm still a few too many on a Friday night. Still try to step in when it ain't my fight. I'm still me, don't get me wrong, but I got better since you got gone. Swear it was like I'll be damned, I'm finally back to being who I am. When we were over, it was overnight. Light came on, it all felt right. When it all went wrong, you turned me loose. Wasn't no telling who I turned into, but it turns out me and you together's why it took so long. Cause I got better since you got gone. For a little while there you had me convinced that my mama was the devil, now we're talking again. My friends you hated ain't said one word. Besides, you got better since you lost her. Swear it was like I'll be damned, I'm finally back to being who I am. When we were over, it was overnight. Light came on, it all felt right. When it all went wrong, you turned me loose. Wasn't no telling who I turned into, but it turns out me and you together's why it took so long. Cause I got better since you got gone.
What is good, everybody? Welcome back to another Sunday Start Sit stream. Look, week 12 is here, man, which means we are only a few weeks away from the fantasy football playoffs. So hopefully we're starting to stack some wins together, get on a roll right before the playoffs, make those final pushes to get into those seeds that we want to be in, hopefully the bye week. Appreciate everybody for being here early. As always, we are going to be answering all of your start sit questions here for about an hour before kickoff. Just a reminder that if you do see that your question is at the bottom of the list or whatever, I'm going to try and work my way through all of them as quickly as possible. But if you don't want to wait, you want to skip the line, super chats are the best way to do that. Now, I will also remind you as well, the like button is a great way to support the show. But if you want to go above and beyond, using our promo code over on Underdog, new customers who do that and play $5 get $100 in bonus funds. And it's a good time to do that because this upcoming week for Thanksgiving, you are going to have feast week over here on Underdog. So Steph Curry gimme picks, 50% NBA profit boost, supercharged entries for the NFL games on Thanksgiving Day, all of that stuff. This is going to be for you. Like I said, if you want all of that, you have to use promo code LeagueFFB. So thank you guys. If you do want to support the show, greatly appreciate it. But look, man, shout out to everybody who is here early. Frosty, Cody, Anthony, John, Johnny, Brian, Neo, everybody, Jeff, everybody, thank you for being here early. Let's just not waste any time. Let's get right back into this and let's start answering some questions. Cody says, best day of the week. Who's got it better than us? Nobody, for sure. And first question that I have here from Cody, PPR 12 team, Josh Downs versus Kansas City or DJ Moore versus the soft Pittsburgh Steelers secondary. I am 7-4 in this Dynasty League. Thanks, Andrew. Okay, so for this one, for me, I am going to be going with DJ Moore. I think the secondary is just better. Like I said, it's a better matchup for him. Josh Downs gets a really tough matchup against Kansas City. I'm not really loving Alec Pierce this week. I'm not really loving Michael Pittman this week. It's going to be tougher. So I'm just going to go with DJ Moore here in this one. Sorry, I had to adjust that and didn't want it to be like super loud in your guys' ears. Frosty says Pittman or Jalen Warren with Aaron Rodgers out. It's kind of same thing. Think it's a little bit of a tougher matchup here. Don't love it for Pittman. Think we could potentially see a little bit of a stinker day from the Colts, potentially. So I'm going to be going with Jalen Warren here. He's still going to be the play for me. Gesicki or Gunnar Helm? This is a deep cut type of tight end question. I think for me, I'm leaning Gesicki. Just the better talent right now. Still think that they're going to throw the football around. Should be a pretty decent game for them. So I'm going to go Gesicki over Gunnar Helm. But, I mean, you're in the trenches here, Anthony. Half point PPR, half point per first down. Tetero McMillan or Chase Brown for the final flex spot. This is an interesting one, John. I think for me, when I'm looking at this, I currently have Chase Brown as a top 10 running back in my rankings. Now, New England is the number 1 defense against running backs, so it is going to be tougher. And T-Mac on the other side, you know, he's a player that I have as a top 10 wide receiver this week. Has a good matchup against San Francisco. They're a lot better matchup. So I think if I have to pick one here, the point per reception or the half point per reception and the half point per first down, I think I'm going to go with Tetero and McMillan here in this matchup. I think he has a little bit of a safer floor, and the matchup's just a little bit better for him. Happy Sunday, Johnny. Appreciate you being here. He says start 2 full PPR, 4-point passing touchdown. You got DK without Aaron Rodgers, Sean Tucker versus the Rams, or JJ McCarthy versus Green Bay. Oh, man. I mean, I think if I'm starting 2 right now, I'm going to go with JJ McCarthy against the Green Bay Packers. That's one that I feel safe with. I think right now, you know, the play's been inconsistent, but quarterback position just has a safer floor, I think, when it comes to scoring points. And then I think I'm still going to go DK here. Sean Tucker, everybody's really excited about him this week. It's a really tough matchup. The Rams are really, really good against the running back position. And I still think Rachaad White's going to be involved. I know everybody wants them to hand it over to Tucker for a week before Bucky comes back next week. I think it's going to be a mix still. So I think there's a lot of risk with Sean Tucker. DK and JJ McCarthy would probably be my 2 plays. Brian says half PPR, need to decide who to start in the running back 2 between Emmanuel Wilson and Sean Tucker and Bam. So kind of a similar thing here. Sean Tucker for me is a lot riskier than I think people want to admit. I have Emmanuel Wilson higher in my rankings. The matchup isn't, you know, as tough. It's still tough. The Minnesota Vikings are a top 10 defense against the running back position, but I have him higher than Sean Tucker and Bam Knight right now. So give me Emmanuel Wilson. What do we have here with Neo? Neo says we running with Patrick, Washington, Luther Burden, or Ricky Pearsall today. I'm going to go with Ricky Pearsall. He's probably going to be my play. When I'm looking at these players in my rankings, I do have Parker Washington as a wide receiver 33 in my rankings. I have Ricky Pearsall as my wide receiver 27. And I have Luther Burden as my wide receiver 37. So Burden, he's interesting. Like I said, though, softer matchup against Pittsburgh. You still got the mix of the 3 guys. For me, I'm going Ricky. I think Ricky has the safest floor of all of those players. Anthony says, oh, okay. He does know about a country mile. Great track. Dude, love me some Morgan Wallen, man. I feel like Sundays, you know, Sunday mornings, I've been in Morgan Wallen moods, not moves. Sean Tucker, Emmanuel Wilson. Like we said with this one, Emmanuel Wilson for me. Mason Taylor, Juwan Johnson. I'm going Juwan. Jay says, hey, yo, what's up, Jay? Caleb with the super chat. Caleb, appreciate you, dude. 199 says Emmanuel Wilson or Tootin in the flex, full PPR. I'm looking at my rankings right now, and Tootin is an interesting case because I think you have to account for that little breakout that he had. Obviously, Etienne has also been a little bit banged up. It's a decent matchup against Arizona. He's intriguing to me, but I still think the safest play is Emmanuel Wilson. Emmanuel Wilson feels like a player that I can guarantee 12 points out of today. That's kind of where I feel like the floor is with Wilson. So I think if you want the ceiling play, it's Tootin, but the floor play for me is Emmanuel Wilson. And I am playing Emmanuel Wilson in one of my leagues where I have him. I think he's going to be a fine, safe floor play this week. So he's going to be the play for me. John says Superflex pick 2 Dimes, Dak, and Brissett. I currently have Daniel Jones as my quarterback 13. Brissett is my quarterback 9, and Dak is my quarterback 11. So if I'm picking 2 of them, it's going to be Dak and Brissett for me this week. Daniel Jones is going to be the guy that hits the bench. But like I said, it's that tough Kansas City matchup. They're top 7 against quarterbacks right now. Aaron says PPR need to Genty, Pittman, Flowers. It's going to be Genty and Flowers for me. It's a tough matchup for Pittman, kind of avoiding these options for the most part. Or a lot of the Colts receivers are down my rankings pretty far today. Alex says, can't hang today. Put up Christmas tree yesterday, and the boys are going wild. Good luck this week, boys. Appreciate you, Alex. Thank you for coming in and stopping by and just saying what up anyways. Speaking of which, what up, Insidious? Appreciate you being here, man. Will says, good morning, brother. Good morning to you. Guillotine League, start quarterback Lamar or Mahomes. I love it, man. I love it when you're this deep into the Guillotine League, and these are the start-sit decisions. I currently have Lamar is my QB2 on the week, and Mahomes is my QB3. I think Lamar has to be the play. He can go nuclear this week, so I'm going to be playing him and go from there. Oh, man. What do we got here? Warren or Javonte and Jamo or Egbuka, full PPR. I'm going to go with Javonte, and I'm going to go with Emeka. Those are going to be the two plays for me. I think both of those players are really have really nice matchups this week. Hunt, Travion, Emmanuel Wilson, Sean Tucker, play 3. It's Travion. It is Emmanuel Wilson. And then it's between Hunt and Tucker here. That is a lot tougher question for me. I think I'm going to lean Hunt over Tucker just by a tiny bit. So give me Travion, Wilson, and Hunt for the 3 that I'm playing. Insidious says, all bias aside, game to 21, prime Kobe or current Westbrook. Brother, this ain't even close. I think prime Kobe's 21-0 in current Westbrook right now. I don't think Westbrook will get the ball. I think, yeah, we just answered this one. Right? Yeah, we did. Thoughts on Stevenson coming back, rolling out Hendo still in the flex? Yeah, I think I'm more than comfortable rolling Hendo out in the flex. Let's just call it what it is. I'm bullish, and I think a lot of that is the matchup right now for TreVeyon Henderson. Still have TreVeyon Henderson as an RB1 in my rankings this week. So Stevenson coming back should have a role. We'll see what it looks like now, but I still have Henderson based on the matchup and what we've seen over the last 2 weeks as an RB1 in my rankings. Skyler, what's up, man? Says full PPR, 2 running backs and a flex. You got Swift, TreVeyon, Monty, AJB, and Diggs. I'm going to go with TreVeyon and Diggs. Those are going to be 2 of the players that I'm playing here. Between Swift, Monty, and AJ Brown, I'm going to go with, I guess I have to go with a running back here, huh? I was going to go with AJ Brown, but I guess if I have to pick a running back between Monty and Swift, I guess give me Swift. So yeah, Swift, TreVeyon, and Diggs in this current situation. May or Hurts this week? I currently have Jalen Hurts as my quarterback 5, and I have Drake May as my quarterback 1. So give me Drake May. What's up, man? Got some bad options. Parker Washington or Dortch. Ooh, yeah, I mean, that's a little tough. I still think some of these guys have some playability. I have Parker Washington, like I said recently. He's my wide receiver 33 on the week. I have Greg Dortch lower than that. He's my wide receiver 45, so I'm going to go with Parker Washington. I think it's a little bit of a safer floor, and he'll be the guy that I play. What's up? Bench 2 of these guys. Dobbs, Parker Washington, Addison, Godwin, Jennings. I'm going to bench Godwin. I'm going to bench Parker Washington. I'll play Dobbs. I'll play Addison. I'll play Jennings. Do you think Shedeur goes over or under 159 passing yards? Any fave player props this week? Honestly, not too sure with the player props. Haven't really been paying attention to them this week. Do I think Shedeur goes over or under 159 passing yards? I kind of feel like he'll go over that number. That feels really low. But probably goes over that. Any other player props? I don't know. I feel like one that I like this week would probably be a Devontae Smith touchdown. Anytime touchdown would be something that I like. I like him to get into the end zone this week. Let's see. Full PPR, choose one. Jamo, Rashad, Wandell, Downs. I think I'm going to go with Wandell here. Wandell Robinson would be the highest guy in my rankings. Do you think you guys are beating the Packers? I don't know, man. We haven't played them yet. This one is, a matchup where we are going to be playing them in Green Bay. So I think today we probably don't get them. We typically split with Green Bay. I feel like we split with Chicago this year. I think if the Vikings win one, it'll be the home game. So the away game, it's probably a little bit tougher to win there in Lambeau. Just being a realist there. Start 2, ETN, Swift, Judkins, worried about Tootin, worried about Browns will suck. Tough one. Yeah, it's a tough one. I think for me, I'm going to go with Judkins is the first guy that I will play. And then between Swift and ETN, I think I'm going to go Swift. Swift and Judkins would be the two for me. Podcast or YouTube, which is better for you, for us to listen to? Honestly, as long as you're listening, as long as you're, watching and stuff, I have no complaints. But if there had to be one, I think YouTube is better for me if you watch that and listen to the YouTube videos, because of the monetization. But I mean, I don't do it for the monetization in the first place. But yeah, if there was a better place for you to do it, I guess it would be YouTube. Start Emmanuel Wilson or Darnell Mooney at the flex. I'm going with Emmanuel Wilson. He would be the play. Sit one, super flex, PPR, Winston, Odunze, Tucker, ETN. Interesting. If I'm sitting one, I think it's Tucker. Tucker's going to be the sit. Do you have any thoughts or insight on Hampton coming back next week? It's been pretty hush right now about Hampton for the most part. I haven't heard too much about him. I mean, let's check real quick. Yeah, I mean, the last report that I have here is from a while ago. And it says he's been working off to the side. I mean, hopefully he can return. They did say that after the bye week would be kind of the target date, so we're right on that point. If he comes back into the lineup, though, when he gets back into the lineup, I think he's a plug-and-play start the rest of the way for the most part. So not really too worried about him once he gets back. It's just a matter of getting him back into the lineup. Let's see. 2 different leagues, both 4-point passing touchdowns. Baker versus Brissett and Superflex Winston versus Bryce Young. I also could plug Wandell or Rashad here if you think one of them is safer. I typically like to play the quarterbacks in the Superflex spot. I just feel like the ceilings are higher and the floors are higher than the players anyways at other positions. So if I have to pick between Baker and Brissett, I'm going with Brissett. And then if I have to pick between Bryce and, who is it, Winston? I'm going to go Bryce. I think I'm going to go Bryce Young and Brissett. And Baker and Winston hit the bench. If you had to drop one, who would it be, Dart or McCarthy? If I have to drop one, it's going to be McCarthy. I'd be more comfortable playing Dart right now the rest of the season. What's up, Drew? Need to this week. PPR got Loveland, Fannin, Strange, DK Dortch, Tez, Burden, Hollywood, Algier. Whoa, this is deep, man. I think if I'm playing 2 this week, I'm probably going to go with Burden. I kind of want to go with Burden and Fannin. Those are the 2 that I think I want to play. Rome or DeAndre Swift? I would rather go with Rome. Insidious says 9 is going to rally the team to a last-minute game-winning drive. That's what he keeps doing, dude. He keeps, rallying these late-game stuff. I want to see 4 quarters, man. I want to see 4 quarters. And I get it. He's a young kid. It's still, progression. But, yeah, hopefully. I mean, it would be good football. It says half PPR. Yeah, it's still going to be Rome for me. What do you think, man? Alec Pierce or Ricky Pierce all in the flex? I like Ricky more than Alec. Tough matchup for Alec, man. I kind of have them in a somewhat similar range in my rankings. I'll tell you where those guys are at. Right now, Pearsall is wide receiver 27. Alec is wide receiver 31. So I'm going to go with Ricky, just barely, but it's close. Emmanuel Wilson, Aaron Jones, Gainwell, PPR. It's going to be Emmanuel Wilson. It's going to be Aaron Jones for me. Yeah, I mean, I get it, dude. That's kind of where we're at right now, right? Two-parter. Okay, two-part question. Who would you target in Dynasty if you are in contention, JMO or Devonta? And what do you think they are worth pick-wise? Thanks, Drew. I like Devonta more than JMO. I think the rest of the season schedule is better for Devonta. And I think Devonta's been a safer asset since coming into the NFL from a floor perspective. And I think they have similar ceilings. So I would probably prefer Devonta. If you have to give picks for him, I think he's at late first round range, mid to late first round range probably, but I'd try and give the late. If I'm a really strong contender, I'm okay talking mid first round, but yeah, it's probably first round pick territory for me. And that could apply for both of those guys. I think both of them are late first round pick territory, but I'd go Devonta over JMO. Stuck with AJ Brown and JMO in full PPR. I don't think that's bad. I have AJ Brown higher in my rankings this week than I think most people do, and that's because of the Dallas matchup. I have him as my wide receiver 18, so he's still a guy that I'm comfortable plugging in. And he says pick one. So pick one of AJ Brown and JMO. It's going to be AJ Brown for me over JMO. I have him higher. JMO for me is my wide receiver 19, so it's just one spot really. It's 18 and 19 for JMO and AJ, so I'm gonna go AJ here. Full PPR, Aaron Jones, Watson, Downs. It's gonna be Aaron Jones for me. No problem, K-Dog. You may have already answered, but I missed it if you did. PPR, JMO, Downs, Rashad, Wandell. Thank you. I think it's gonna be Wandell for me. Wandell's the highest in the rankings. I think I did answer this, but he's wide receiver 13 this week, which is crazy to me because I look at it and I see that I have Wan'Dale Robinson ranked above Justin Jefferson in my rankings, and I want to, do horrible things because of that. But at the end of the day, that's where he is. So I think that Wan'Dale Robinson's going to have a pretty good week. He's high in my rankings. Full PPR, play one, Loveland, Knight, Tillman, Hawk. It's probably Knight for me. I'm going Knight. Lamar it is then. Another quick one. Pick two to start between Metcalf, Pearsall, Yoshavash, Tootin, and Aaron Jones. It's going to be Metcalf and Pearsall for me as the two that I play. Start two. Kamara, Bam Knight, or Tracy. What we going with? Right now in my running back rankings, I currently have Bam Knight as my running back 27. I have Kamara as my running back 23, and I have Tracy as my running back 30. So I'm going to be going with Alvin Kamara based off of the rankings. Could you see JMO being a good little sell high in Dynasty if he keeps producing to end the season with new play calling and Laporta out? Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And it's a good season, rest of season schedule for JMO and those guys too. So it should be a good opportunity for him to have some good games. I mean, I'm just looking at the next couple of games here for the Detroit Lions, and he's going to end up getting the Giants this week, which is obviously a great matchup. You get Green Bay, which is middle of the road against wide receivers. You get Dallas the week after, who has been dead last. And then you get the Rams, who, as good as they've been against the run, they're 20th against the wide receivers. So 3 of his next 4 matchups are against the 20th or less ranked wide receiver defenses. And so he should have a good little stretch here. Absolutely a potential sell high. The only thing is, if you have trade deadlines, you either got to make that decision now or next week or whatever it may be, and then sell him in the offseason right after. So definitely a potential who could be a sell high candidate. If NFL season ended today, who is the MVP? I was kind of having this conversation. My wife and I, we went to a Friendsgiving last night, and all the guys were asking me football questions about, who I think MVP would be and who I think could win the Super Bowl and all these other questions. And I kind of got it in a conversation where I think Matthew Stafford is probably the MVP right now, and him and Drake May are probably the top 2 guys that I'd be looking at. But I have to go strength of schedule for the Rams has been tougher than Drake May's. So I'm going to go with Stafford over May just by a little bit. So he is the MVP for me in real life. Fantasy MVP for me right now would be Jonathan Taylor. Jordan Addison or Alec Pierce. I'm going with Oh, this is a close one. I think I'm going to go Alec Pierce. Alec Pierce over Jordan Addison. I lost to Jacobs, so I got Emmanuel Wilson, Ramondre Stevenson, and Tyrone Tracy. I'm going to go with Emmanuel Wilson. Start Shador, Hurts, or Lamar. Insane. You just baited me. Start Lamar. Chunky says Jalen Warren or Kareem Hunt in a full PPR. Give me Jalen Warren. Definitely going to be playing him. Do you think if Russ retires this season, doubt he will, is he a Hall of Famer? It's a good question. I think he's right there. He definitely has the argument for it. I'm going to lean yes. But I don't think he's a definitive Hall of Famer. Need a flex, full PPR, ETN, Brees, Pittman, or Smitty. I'm leaning ETN or Pittman for consistency and a must-win. Rest of lineup is Purdy, CMC, Rico, JJ, Ferg. Okay. So you're leaning for consistency. So we want a safe play. ETN, Brees, Pittman, or Smitty. I'm going Smitty. Smitty is the play for me out of all of these players. I feel the safest about him. Somebody just asked about prop bets and who I thought was going to potentially be the best prop bet of the day, and I said anytime touchdown for Smitty. So I'm leaning with my gut here. I'm going Smitty. I'm assuming it's Purdy over Brissett in a standard league. I currently have Purdy over Brissett by 2 spots. Yes. Jay says Addison or Wandell. I'm trying not to play Addison because of McCarthy, but I have a feeling it's one of those McCarthy weeks where he goes off, even though we haven't seen any hope yet. I have Wandell as a top, I think I just said top 13 wide receiver in my rankings this week, so I'm playing Wandell, man. Addison is not even close to the top 13. I have Wandell over Justin Jefferson this week. So, yeah. You can tell that hurt my heart. Thanks. Good luck today, fellas. Appreciate you, J-Mo. Seriously. Tracy, Watson, Yoshavash. I got to pick 2 of these guys. It's going to be Tracy. It's going to be Watson, I think, if I'm picking 2. So full PPR, yeah. Give me those 2 guys. Addison or Pearsall in the flex, full PPR. I'm going with Pearsall this week. Have him as my wide receiver 27. So that is going to be a few spots higher than Jordan Addison. Addison's 35. All right, we are about halfway through. 30 minutes in, we go for about an hour, so appreciate everybody who's asked questions so far. As always, hit the like button if I have answered your question. If you've just been hanging out, feel like I was able to help you out a little bit today, do me the favor, hit the like button. Also, if you want to go above and beyond, as I said earlier, let me get this off of the screen. As I said earlier, hold on now. New customers who want to support us even further can go over to Underdog and use promo code LeagueFFB. If you are a new customer and you use $5 to play, you will get $100 in bonus funds. And this upcoming week is a big one over on Underdog. It is Feast Week for Thanksgiving. So you will get promos in the app pretty much all week long. Steph Curry gimme picks, 50% NBA profit boost if you want to watch some basketball and have some things to root for. And then, of course, Thanksgiving Day, when you have all of those NFL games, you get some supercharged entries as well. So, like I said, all it takes is $5. You go over there, you sign up using our promo code, you get $105 in the account to play with the free $100 that they give you on top of the $5 you deposit, and you get to play all week long. So do me a favor, man. If you've never done it, you've been thinking of trying it, it's low risk, go over there and show us some love, man. I'd appreciate it. So thank you. What do we got here? Brian says Juwan Jennings, Pearsall, or Dobbs in a half PPR. I do have Juwan Jennings as the highest in the rankings. He is my wide receiver 22, so I'm going to play him. We have this question here that says someone ended up in third place in somehow I ended up in third place in a 16-man work league. First 3 picks in orders were Neighbors, Bucky, Evans. I'm currently running 3 tight ends, Warren, Fannin, and Loveland. It's tough. Dude, battling through right now, so I love it, man. Love to hear that you're still, finding a way to win. Anthony says, I know you answered this the other day. Convince me why I should accept Shakir plus Downs for Dowdle in a rebuild. Dowdle going to a contender, and he also has Jamo, Wandell, Egbuka, Chase, T-Mac. Counter? I think for me, you have to think about Dowdle from a long-term perspective. I just have concerns, I think, of Dowdle getting a contract from Carolina. They paid a middle-of-the-road running back in Chuba Hubbard last year. Do they want to make the same mistake by paying now Dowdle and then having two guys under contract in both Chuba and Dowdle? I think that's one thing that's concerning. Then you look across the NFL and you say you're going to add Jeremiah Love. We've had some young running backs come into the NFL over the last couple of years. And then you also have some decent running backs in Justice Haynes, Jonah Coleman, and the free agent class is going to be pretty stacked this summer for the NFL running backs. You're going to have guys like Breece Hall in free agency, guys like Travis Etienne in free agency. So what is the market going to be like for Dowdle? I don't know if it's going to be great. Obviously, he's a player that helps you as a contender, but when I'm thinking about a rebuild, Downs doesn't get me super excited, and Shakir I think is unsexy as well. But when you think of those players long term, I'm confident that those players are going to be producers for me for the next 2 to 3 seasons in a rebuild, and that's what I'm looking at. Is I can plug these guys in as my wide receiver 3, or a flex wide receiver for the next 2 to 3 years. I'm not confident I can do that with Dowdle for 2 to 3 years. So I think that's the argument that you have, is the longevity of it, the fact that you're not trying to put points in the lineup right now with Dowdle. So those would be the arguments for it. I just think the free agent market for running backs is going to be strong, and I don't know if Dowdle is going to command a ton of money. The best situation for Dowdle might be just staying in Carolina, and if he does, you have to, hope that they're willing to pay another running back for the second year in a row. And he even said recently that they haven't talked about any contracts yet so far, so nobody's come to him to talk about it. Pittman, Slayton, or Tracy in a full PPR. It's between Pittman and Tracy. I think I'm going to go Pittman there. Well, hot damn. I will be playing Wandell then. Good sir. Thanks a ton, man. For real, man. You're my hidden gem channel that I come to every Sunday because I value your advice and you actually answer us all. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. And he says, so I just wanted to say that we definitely appreciate your help, man. Looking forward to watching your channel grow even more over the years to come. Thank you, dude. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. Lots of stuff, I think, in the works. I was just having conversations last night. I was driving home from that Friendsgiving that I was talking about, and my wife and I are talking about, I think I was just bouncing ideas off my wife, right? Like, this is the 2-year plan. This is the 3-year plan. This would be the 5-year plan of what I want this to scale to and be. So excited for you guys, who have been in here for a while. I know, we've been doing this this is our 3rd season now. So it's been a very slow grind. It's a hard grind, but I appreciate everybody who's been here supporting and the guys who've been here early. Very much appreciate you guys and everybody who's jumped on along the way. It's only up, so excited to see where it goes, man. Really excited. I think we're going to reach a turning point here shortly, probably over the next 12 months, where it starts to really take off. At least that's the way I feel, and, God willing. But Swift, Rashad, Shaheed, Watson, or Ramondre at flex and PPR. I'm already starting Travion. I'm going to go Swift. There. Tight end premium, Aaron Jones, Josh Downs, or Hawkinson. Already have Barner starting over Hawk in my tight end spot. Give me Aaron Jones. Skyler, or that was Jay Loading, says, want to get this to the trade show eventually, but do you think I should take London, a 27 second, and a 3rd for H&N Diggs? I'm starting a rebuild this year, and guy's winning the league this year, but has a load of wide receivers. Should I take London, a 2nd, and a 3rd for H&N Diggs? I don't have an issue with this. Honestly, I think London and HN we could probably view as somewhat similarly valued assets. And then a 2nd and a 3rd for Diggs at his age. Maybe based off of the production lately, it feels light, but I don't think it's far off. Rebuilding-wise, I would rather have the picks in London. So yeah, if you can make that happen, let's do it. And then submit that to the trade show as well. Is Javonte worth a 26 first and 26 third, both projected mid to late, looking to upgrade final flex spot? I think right now he's played like he's worth that late first, that mid to late first. And I do think he's going to earn an extension with Dallas. I think Dallas will pay him. So should be probably worth that, I think. And then he says for the final flex spot, he'd be upgrading either Trey Benson or Juwan Jennings, depending on the matchup. So, yeah, I definitely like that. I think he's worth it. If you're a contending team that thinks you can win right now, all for doing that. Insidious says, can you name a bigger tragedy than Torrey Horton being on IR? Caught me by surprise the other day. Him going to IR, but time for Shaheed, I guess. Time for Shaheed. The answer is not Cooper Kupp, unfortunately. That was still one of the more odd contracts, I think, that we saw in the last offseason. What would you sell Kittle for in a tight end premium full PPR? I know he's older, but he's still under contract for a bid and looks like a league winner. Also, Isaiah Davis or Jordan Mason. I know it's ugly in full PPR. I'm going to go Mason over Davis. And if I'm in a tight end premium league, I'm still asking for a late first for Kittle. He's still worth a late first to me. I agree with you. Like, the production's there. The contract's still there. The rest of the season schedule's there. I'm in late first territory in a tight end premium. I'm not selling for a second. He's worth more for me than a second. So it's got to be a late first. But if somebody's willing to offer you the late first, I'll take it. And it could be 26 or 27. I don't really care the draft class. I just need the late first. Anthony says, are we starting Kadarius Toney? Hell no. But funny enough, Anthony, I was going through my sports cards the other day. I'm trying to slim these down, get rid of the bulk, keep the hits, make this collection smaller before I move. And found a couple Kadarius Toney rookie cards. Probably not worth anything. Start to full PPR, Emmanuel Wilson, Montoya, which is going to be David Montgomery. And then he says, Ray, or that's Montoya Ray. I think that's Montgomery, Tracy Jr. Give me Emmanuel Wilson and Montgomery. Bench Tracy. What that guy said, best fantasy channel by far. Love it, man. Thank you guys. Seriously. Jay says, hell yeah, dude. That's awesome to hear. Slow and steady wins the race, and consistency is key for sure. Keep pounding out those videos, man. If you never quit, you can never fail, brother. Appreciate you, man. Seriously. It is exactly that. It's exactly that. You keep putting it out into the universe, it's going to end up happening eventually. You just got to keep knocking on those doors. Tight end premium, start to flex, Pittman, Sean Tucker, Addison, Theo Johnson, Monty Pearsall. Give me Pittman, give me Monty. Those are going to be my two plays this week. My girlfriend wanted and needs some start-sit advice. Who would you play between Pollard, Singletary, and Monangai? We're getting a little deep here, but that's fine. I think right now when I'm looking at my rankings, I do have Singletary as my running back 39. Monangai's 37, and Pollard is 36. So none of these guys I really am viewing as wide or running back threes. They're all just like low-end flex plays. It's going to be Pollard. Pollard will be the play. But I think there's a lot better options. If you can get somebody who's a wide receiver off the waiver wire, I think there's waiver wire potential wide receivers, assuming your waivers are open right now, that I would rather play. For example, if you can grab like a Greg Dortch, a Tez Johnson, a Rashid Shaheed, a Darius Slayton, a Yoshavash, a Parker Washington, those would all be players that I would rather play. So hopefully that helps. Start two running backs in a flex. Options are Judkins, Warren, KW3, Tootin, and Olave. The two running backs are going to be Judkins and Warren, and then the flex is going to be Olave for me, A-Rod. In a non-tight end premium dynasty league, would you flip Kittle and tear down to Jake Ferguson straight up? I'm not opposed to tearing down in a non-tight end premium. Without the tight end premium, I'm always looking at getting the cheapest or the most affordable tight end that can still produce, and going from a guy like Kittle to Ferguson feels like you're doing that. So as long as you can keep getting some pluses, I'm all for it. 12-team Superflex. The team is built around JSN, Jettas, Bowers. I have no first left. My quarterback room is Stafford, Bryce, Winston, Malik Willis on the taxi, and the Falcons quarterbacks. Am I cooked? No, I mean, I think you have some big pieces, right, with JSN, Jettas, and Bowers, and if you do need to end up upgrading a quarterback down the road, you can. You're going to just have to down-tier one of the other pieces. So you don't have the draft capital, but you have the flexibility because you have some studs that you can down-tier. John says, what's your favorite sports card that you own? I have a pretty large Kobe Bryant collection. Some old like numbered cards, some numbered Kobe cards. I have a couple Kobe rookies. I have a game worn patch jersey card from Kobe. So those would all probably be my favorites. I collected those as kids, or as a kid. And that collection was just like for a period of time. I just was like, any Kobe card I could get my hands on, I was doing it. And so that's probably my favorite part of my collection right now is all those Kobe cards. But recently been ripping a lot of, 2024 Panini football, trying to get the rookies of guys like Caleb Williams and Drake May and JJ McCarthy. Been trying to pull a lot of those rookie QBs, things like that. But been opening this advent calendar, Kaboom, chasing a Kaboom, some other stuff like that. But yeah, I think the Kobe's are probably some of my favorite. I have a lot of old, early 2000s, early 2010s basketball that back then, a lot of those sports cards were game worn. Now a lot of the memorabilia cards that you get are not from any specific game or event, so they're not game worn. The players never touched them. The players never wore the item. But a lot of the old stuff, it is game worn. So those are really cool because I have some Steve Nash game worn stuff, some Ray Allen game worn stuff, Kobe, KG, like all of those guys, like legends, man. I got a lot of those guys with game worn memorabilia stuff. So those are all dope stuff. Trying to buy Hunter for a playoff first. Rejected. I can't add a second. Would you? I think I'd rather have the first and the second. One first, I'm fine, but I don't know if we've seen enough for me to feel good going 1 and 2 right now. This morning I traded ETN for Harvey, and then I picked up Tootin. Did I cook? I think you might have cooked. You might have. Is Gainwell droppable? Probably right now. He's like a handcuff guy, so if something happens, you're going to want him. But other than that, I think he's just floating between rosterable and not rosterable each week. Dixon says start 2, full PPR, Monty, Pierce, Myers, Tracy, Ferguson. Give me Monty and Ferguson as the 2. Insidious says, I think I'd rather start Scadaboo right now opposed to Pollard. Yeah, I mean, fair enough. Jay says, a deep dynasty league question for you. Luther Bird and Andre Yoshavash with Chase out or Christian Watson. I need to start 2 of them. Just have a feeling that Burden has a breakout week. But who knows? Yeah, I mean, I think I'd go with Luther Burden, and I think I'd go with... I think I'm going Yoshavash. Give me Yoshavash and give me Burden. Those would be the 2 that I play. Pollard or Singletary? Give me Pollard. Just barely. Swift, Warren, or Wandell? I'm going with Warren. Actually, you know what? I'm going with Wandell. Wandell's the play that I'm going with. What are you asking Santa for Christmas? Santa isn't visiting our house this year because my wife and I are going to be moving during Christmas, so there won't be a house to visit. We're going to be driving across the country to move. So, yeah, I'm asking Santa for money to move. That's what I'm asking for. Is Brenton Strange a sneaky play this week? Could be. I kind of like him more rest of season than just this week, but I'm looking at my tight end rankings and, could be a decent matchup against Arizona. I really like his playoff schedule. As we get to week 14, 15, those are the matchups where I'm like, yeah, I probably could plug Brenton Strange in as a sneaky play those weeks and win my playoff matchups. Jay says, my dad has a Wayne Gretzky rookie card that we've had for years. I don't even know what it would be worth nowadays. It used to be a couple $1,000s even years ago. That's the thing, man. Some of these old legends, like I said, that Kobe card, like the Kobe rookies, some of those stuff that I have, like I'm sure they're worth way more than I even recognize right now. But I've been trying to slim down my collection. Like I said, I've been trying to get rid of a lot of the bulk. I just want to sell the bulk off for pennies on the dollar just to get it out of my, just declutter it and then keep the nice stuff. And then once I have the nice stuff, slim down into, a couple thousand cards or whatever of the nice stuff, then I want to go through that and pick out probably like 50 to 100 that I want to end up sending off to PSA to grade, and then try and get those ones graded and start doing that to like turn all of my raw cards that I have in my collection into graded cards and then upgrade my collection because now it's all graded. Full PPR, Jacoby, Pierce, or Christian Watson. Jacoby, Pierce, or Christian Watson. I think I'm going to go with Christian Watson. Give me Christian Watson. Dak or Purdy? I have Purdy higher in the rankings this week, just by a few spots. It's a total of 4 spots that I have him higher. Insidious says, where do you got Brissett in your rankings this week? Brissett right now is a top 10 QB. I have him as a top 10 quarterback, so definitely somebody I'm comfortable playing as my QB1. All right. Where are we at? I think we're all caught up. So we're at about 45 minutes. We got 15 more minutes or so that I'll keep answering questions. But keep them coming if you don't have them and you just want to keep talking cards. I'm all cool to talk cards too. I talked about recently I wanted to put a channel in the Discord just for trading cards because I've been on a kick lately. I like a collection bug. I've always had a collection bug my whole life. You can see like the cans on the thing. Like I just collect a bunch of shit randomly. I think my wife might hate it. But it's just what I've always done, man. Dak or Brissett? I have Brissett higher than Dak this week. I feel like the last couple of weeks, the teams that have played the Eagles have been in very low scoring games. So although I like the matchup for Dallas having a little bit of a worse defense, a lot of a worse defense, and I like it for Devonta Smith and A.J. Brown, I'm nervous about Dallas a little bit this week. Not a ton. Obviously, I haven't punished these guys in my rankings, but it's just something I've noticed is the games against Philly for the last couple of weeks have been low scoring. Brissett has been balling like like none other. Shit's amazing to see, not gonna lie. He has been, man. And he has some good matchups over the next couple of weeks too. This one against Jacksonville. Jacksonville's 28th against the quarterback position. Next week against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's 25th against the quarterback position. So he keeps playing these bottom 8 quarterback defenses for fantasy purposes who are giving up, multiple points above the expectation each week. He should keep playing well. But I think the scary thing about him is you look ahead for the playoffs, weeks 14, 15, 16, 17. The matchups get a lot tougher. The Rams, Houston is on there in the first week of the playoffs. Like, it's going to get tougher for Brissett. But the next couple of weeks, he might be able to just get you there. Anthony says collection bug, aka hoarder. Kidding. I mean, I think a hoarder would like to keep all the bulk cards. At least I'm getting rid of the bulk. But yeah, I mean, sort of. I put together a bunch of I repacked a bunch of Pokemon cards, base Pokemon cards, and some holos and stuff. And I repacked them, and I've been trying to find like a children's hospital or an adoption center or something like that where I could go give these repacked Pokemon cards to some kids rather than just throwing them away or selling them. I feel like it would be better to give them to some kids because I know if as a kid I would have liked just getting any Pokemon cards. We gave a few of them out on Halloween, but I haven't been able to find a children's hospital that is willing to accept these donations. So I guess maybe I'll ask if anybody knows of one or has somebody or has something. The cards aren't worth anything. It's just, like I said, base. But if you know a children's hospital or somewhere where I could donate these, please let me know because I'd be happy to ship them. But yeah, I've been trying to find something. If JJM finishes the season playing at the current level, would you be for the Vikings going out and trying to get a guy like Mac Jones? I'm not against it. I'm not against it, John. But I'm kind of in the feeling of I'm TBD until about next Thanksgiving. Come next Thanksgiving, we'll have about a year of data to look at JJ McCarthy as the starting quarterback. And if we haven't seen progression by Thanksgiving, let's start having conversations. I'm open to have those conversations. But right now, it still just feels very premature. And even, by the end of the year, we'll be 12 games into him as a starter. It still feels very, very premature to have conversations. I'm not opposed to competition, but benching and moving on, I don't know if I want those conversations until, we see some more. What's up, Zeus? Appreciate you, man. He says, what's going on, bro? Should I start Bashal Tootin or Jawan Jennings? I'm going Jawan Jennings this week. Jawan would be my play. Genty or Aaron Jones in a full PPR. Give me Genty. NBA Dynasty. Yes, I know. Traded RJ Barrett, Jalen Suggs, Garland, a 2026 top 5 pick for Harden, Jimmy Butler, 27 late first and second. Any thoughts? I know you said you're not a big NBA fantasy guy. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big NBA fantasy guy, but I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you my feelings because I don't really know the values of these guys in NBA Dynasty. But I'll tell you what, feels like a move where you're trying to maybe a move like you're trying to win right now. That's all I can say, but I don't really know, man. As far as NBA Dynasty. Skylar, maybe you need to get into the content space for NBA Dynasty because I think it's an untapped space. I think somebody could go in and take over it. Only if you want to. If you just want to play, you just want to play. Aaron Jones or Javonte. I was leaning towards Williams, but a bit nervous this week. I'd probably go Javonte still as well. Full PPR, Michael Wilson, Worthy, or Parker Washington. I need one. I would go with Michael Wilson. He says, good luck this week, brother. Thank you for what you do. Appreciate you, Bob. But I'm going Michael Wilson. Standard ESPN League, you got to pick two, Judkins, Brees, or Emmanuel Wilson. I'm going to go with Standard League. Standard. Changes things quite a lot. I think I'm going to go Quinshawn. And I think I'm going to go with Emmanuel Wilson. Those would be my two plays. Yeah, man. I mean, if you know anywhere, like I said, let me know, Jay. My wife and I have been trying to, email places and figure it out. Goff or Lamar? Kevin, go Lamar. Lamar's my QB2 in my ranks this week. Lions fan Rab says, Yoshavash, Jennings, or Tracy. I'm going to go with Jennings here. I think he's the best play. What's up with the Tootin hype lately? I mean, I think he's a player that people were excited about coming into the NFL. The underlying metrics, the analytics were pretty solid for him. Obviously had a pretty good combine. And then he lands in a situation where I think people felt like was murky and they wanted him to take over. I think there's a little bit of a hive out there for Tootin, but the last couple of weeks he's played pretty well as well. The fact that ETN is a free agent coming up, in the offseason could maybe open the door for some more opportunity for Tootin. He's a player that I think the hype is there, and I think it's worthy of a little bit of hype. So, yeah, I think it's valid. Not a bad idea in that space. I have a YouTube podcast channel I haven't posted on in like a year and have thought about converting it to an NBA Dynasty channel. I'm telling you, dude, I would think about doing it because if you put in the time, you put in the effort, I think that space is a little bit untapped. And as far as content creation goes, man, if you ever need, advice or whatever, just hit me up, man. You know where to find me. Anthony says, picks this week over JSN, over for JSN's 96.5 receiving, over for Hendo's 55.5 rushing, Shador over 60 or 162.5 passing. I don't hate any of those. I don't hate any of those at all. I think they're all fine plays. Like those for you. Let's see. Half PPR, would you start Kamara, Dobbs, Mooney, or Myers? Can only start one. Dobbs is the 1 p.m. game and the other 3 4 p.m.s. If I'm only starting one, it's probably Dobbs. Dobbs would be my one play. Kyle Pitts or Fanning in a non-tight end premium league. I would go with Kyle Pitts. He's a top 8 tight end in my rankings this week, whereas Fannin doesn't come in until my tight end 17 in a tough matchup against the Raiders. So, yeah, I'd go with Kyle Pitts there. All right, folks, I am going to call final call here. We're at about 55-ish minutes, so we got about 5 minutes left. It does feel like the questions have slowed down a little bit since the beginning of the stream, which is fine, but I am calling final call. So if you have any other questions, comments, thoughts, things you want to talk about, throw them into the chat right now because we will be wrapping it up once I catch up again, but I'll let you guys get some questions in here for a second before we get on out of here. Let me just double check right now any news that may have come in while we've been live because I don't usually check my phone at all while I am recording, so I need to just double check this to make sure. Does seem like Jordan Love's fighting through an AC joint sprain. Will play. Interesting. Let's see, what else do we have here? Inactives. Rogers out. We knew that. Jacobs out. We knew that. Stevenson in. We knew that. Jonathan Grenard is out. Okay. Walker in. Stevenson in. Worthy in. Tesla in. Wicks in. Restrepo getting, some play for the first time. Dynasty folks, that might be interesting. I picked him up off of waivers because he was on waivers for a long time. Just to see. Who knows? Aaron Rodgers, Josh Jacobs, Golden, Grenard, and Bateman are out. So Bateman being out, good for Flowers. Let's get through these questions, though, and then we'll get on out of here. That does seem like everything, for the most part, we knew all of that stuff was going to happen. So I got a question here from Kevin. He says, Pierce, Pearsall, or Ferguson this week in a PPR. You got to pick two. I'm going with Pearsall, and I'm going with Ferguson as the two plays. John says, I appreciate the stream. I appreciate you, John. Thank you for always coming in and hanging out and asking questions, man. Means a lot. Monkey says, thanks, Andrew. I appreciate you. Monkey Pock means a lot. Kevin says, Pierce. Okay, we just answered that one. So Pearsall and Ferguson would be my two plays. And then Jay says, Emmanuel Wilson or Tyrone Tracy Jr. I am going to go with Emmanuel Wilson. He is higher in my rankings. I have him right now as a top 20 play. So give me Emmanuel Wilson. He'll be the play. And no problem, Kevin. Appreciate you. So, all right, folks, we are caught up. We are going to wrap this one up. Good luck for everybody right now in week 12. Like I said, we're in the final push. 12, 13, 14, and then fantasy playoffs are here. It's time to get to that money and get to that trophy, depending on what you play in. We do have a super chat from George. So, George, I cannot forget you. Appreciate the super chat. He says, half PPR. I need all of the upside. K. Dotton or Barner. I think if you're going for upside, for me, the upside is going to be with K. Dotton. I think he has the better matchup, and I think for him, he's just a little bit more involved in the offense. Or I guess reliable in the offense. So I have him as a top 12 play. I have Barner as a top 16 play. So give me Otten there. Insidious says, thank you, Andrew. Catch you next time. Thank you. So, yeah, good luck, man. Like I said, everybody, we are getting to the fantasy playoffs. Hopefully we can get to that money, get to those trophies. We're here to help you along the way. Don't forget about us. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, do all that good stuff. Go show us some love. Use our promo code over on Underdog. If you haven't, you guys see the code down here. It's always flipped on my camera, so you see the code down there. But other than that, we'll see you on the next one. This upcoming week, just before we get on out of here, the upcoming week, the content schedule is a little bit more compact. I think we're going to mix the stash video and the waiver video together into one video because Thanksgiving Day games make the week shorter. We got to get all the content out in time. Buzzer beater for you, Niners. Says 14-team PPR. With all of those guys on bye. Where's the question here? Yoshavash, Aubrey, Falcons, D. I mean, I don't see a question here. But the team feels all right. So anyways, that is it. We were trying to wrap it up. I didn't see a question here. I think it was just flexing the team, but appreciate you guys. We'll see you on the next one. Till then, peace out.